So what is interface? In case of abstract class, we were having one or more abstract method plus concrete methods, right? So abstract class is a combination of abstract as well as concrete methods. But in case of interface, we will have all method as abstract method. Okay, then we will see how we are creating that. So when you go here and create and go to new, then you get the option to create interface directly here. So when I click that, so let's say I am creating one interface called RBI, and it does not give any option to select public static void main method and etc. Right? So modifier would be public, and then it would be none. So I'll just create an interface. Now this is the interface, right? So interface should have the interface keyword with this. So public interface RBI. Okay, and if you see this closely, right? So with RBI.java, you can see one I here, I letter here, right? So I letter as in this is an interface. This is an interface. Can you see this I here with the with RBI.java?
Yes, Nitin.
Yeah. So interface having all the methods as abstract methods. So let me write some method as, let's say, public void loan method is there, let's say. So okay, loan public void, let's say insurance method is there, public void, let's say mutual fund method is there. Okay, now all the methods are abstract method, only the method prototype, there is no method body here. Okay, if you declare the method body, then it will give you a error here that you cannot have abstract method do not specify the method body. Okay, so all methods should be abstract methods here in case of interface, and we do not use abstract keyword here, we use just public. We can use public, and by default those are abstract in nature, but we don't have to use abstract keyword here. In case of abstract class, we were using the abstract keyword, right? So public abstract void calculate. If you remove abstract from here, then it will give you an error that this method is not complete. Getting it? So
Yeah, so in
case
abstract classes, we need to define it by abstract.
Yeah.
A method should be defined by abstract keyword.
Yep.
And in interfaces, there is no need to write it.
We don't have to write this abstract explicitly. By default, they have to be abstract only. Okay, if you write that, then also it is fine. That's optional actually. abstract, yeah. So this is optional. If you write, then also it is fine. If you don't write, then also it is fine. Okay, because the nature of interface is like all the methods should be abstract in nature. Now what happens is, like, let's say some foreign bank is coming to my country and they wanted to set up their branches across India, right? And for setting up the branches, right, they have to follow some rules and regulations from Reserve Bank of India. Right? They impose some rules on every bank that you should have the flexibility of giving the loans to the customer, be it a home loan, car loan, education loan, or loan to any startup, right? Unicorns. And you should have the functionality to provide insurance, right? And you should have the functionality to provide funds. Like these are the kind of norms which RBI wanted to have with all the banks. So what RBI will do, they will create the one interface, right? And whichever bank is coming to India and setting up the operations here, right? They will have to implement these interfaces, as in they will have to provide all these functionality, all these features to the end customer. And what RBI says is, like, you can implement in your own way, but you will have to have it, right? You should have the feature of giving loan to the customer. You should have insurance products with you, you should have funds products with you, you know, which can offer a variety of insurance, variety of funds, etc. So RBI will say whichever the bank is coming to India, they should implement this interface. As in, let's say Bank of America is coming to India, right? So Bank of America is coming to India, uh, and then they say RBI say, please, you know, whatever is our rules, please implement those. So what I will do, I will have to implement the interface RBI, and then once you implement this, then what it will say, please add the unimplemented methods here. So you can write your own logic, as in there is no such issue with the like what logic you are implementing, but you should have that. So loan is you know, available, something like that, or insurance is available. Bank of America provides insurance also, so WOFA provides insurance, something like that, or funds also, right? Funds available, or credit card, or anything of like of that sort. And tomorrow, let's say another bank is setting up operations, right? Bank of Canada is coming tomorrow, and Bank of Singapore is coming tomorrow, Citibank is coming tomorrow, and they will also have to follow the rules and regulations from RBI, right? So for that also they will implement the RBI interface. Let's say tomorrow Canada Bank is coming, and they want to set up operations in India. So what they will do, they will implement what RBI. Okay, now when you implement this RBI interface, you will have to have the unimplemented methods, right? So I will have to do that, and along with these methods, I can have my own methods also here. Public void, let's say I am giving credit card also to customer, or buy now pay later, something you know, new feature is there nowadays with banks, pay later something. So I am giving, along with these all, I am giving this additional feature also, so that also I can implement. Public void, let's say credit card. Okay, likewise, yeah. So interfaces are useful where you want the third parties to implement something, right? So RBI is a parent, and these are the third parties, right? So third party vendors or something. So they will have to implement whatever the rules and regulations I have in RBI. Okay, and on the same note, let's say tomorrow, you know, Canada Bank, you know, is going to let's say America. Now in America, I have another interface called Federal Bank. So FDI is there, right? So I am creating another interface here, and FDI is having some more interfaces. Let's say public void. There also I can think of. Let's say you are giving interest to customer on their deposits. Okay, and you are giving having multiple sort of accounts, like current accounts, savings accounts, so account types are there. Then you are having flexibility of you know, withdrawing the cash across country, so cash withdrawal with any of the ATM. So likewise, I am having some norms which FDI says that if you are coming to my country, you will have to implement this. So let's say tomorrow Canada Bank is coming to America, and then they implement this FDI also. So now what Canada Bank will have to do, they will have to add unimplemented methods from FDI. So I am getting 3 more methods here and I can implement in my own way. So I am having methods from Reserve Bank of India, right? So these are the methods from Reserve Bank of India. These are my own methods and these are the methods from Federal Bank. Okay, so I can implement in any in one class. So I can write here like Canada Bank implements RBI FDI, and this FDI is an interface, this RBI is an interface, and Bank of America implements RBI. Is it making sense?
Yes, Nitin.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So RBI is an interface, FDI is another interface, and let's say Canada Bank is setting up operations in India as well as in America. So Canada Bank will have to implement the methods from RBI. They can have their own methods and they have to implement methods from FDI.
FDI as well.
Yeah, and this is the multiple inheritance, guys. So I can implement 2 interfaces here. Now in case of same methods in both the classes, in both the interfaces, let's say FDI also having loan and RBI also having loan. So instead of let me write one more, public void loan. So this is the common method here, right? Which is there in RBI also and which is there in FDI also. Now Canada Bank will have the one copy of this and they can implement their own way because these are the unimplemented methods here. And in case of inheritance, here only Java gets confused. Let's say I am having something here, right? These methods are implemented methods. Loan method is implemented in RBI and loan method is implemented in FDI. And when you are extending these 2 classes, then Java will get confused from which method, from which class they should get the method copy. Either it is from RBI or either it is from FDI. Okay, but with the help of interfaces, we can sort out this issue. We can have multiple inheritance here. So they do ask in interview, like if you have same methods in both the interfaces and when you implement those methods, then how that ambiguity gets resolved here. So you can just say that these are the unimplemented methods, though the names are same, but these are unimplemented methods. And I can implement in my own way. I have the liberty to implement it in my own way. Okay, so please make a note of this, guys, because this was asked to me also in one of the interview and I was again confused with that. One more catch is here, right? So instead of void, if you have return types some different. So instead of void, if I write here int, instead of void, if I write here boolean, now there is a problem. And even I am not aware about this. I am also looking. So I am having 2 methods which are of same name. One for one method the return type is int. For the other method the return type is boolean. Now which method copy I will take? It is from int or it is from loan. So if I take int here and if I take another method as loan here, boolean here, then that would be the duplicate one. So this is a duplicate here, duplicate method loan and type Canada Bank. So this is where actually Java is also not very sure. Then this creates confusion here. Okay, so this is just for for your understanding. It has nothing to do with the Selenium, right? So in practical, we don't have any such methods which are common, right? From interface to interface. But just to cover that part, uh, uh, Java has this flexibility. Yeah. So whose message is that? Okay. Now we will come on talk about the difference between interfacing and abstract classes. We have covered what is interface, how it is implemented, and why it is required, how the multiple inheritance is achieved during interfaces. And yeah, one more thing. So I talked about yesterday, a class extends another class, a class implements interface, interface extends another interface, and interface cannot extend or implement class, right? So let's say I am having one interface here and I am having another interface here. So I can extend RBI here. Okay. So I will have to remove this. So I can extend RBI here. Okay. So eventually, when you implement finally FDI, then you will have to implement all the methods from RBI as well as from FDI. So let me remove this and show you how it is working. So I have RBI as a parent interface and I have FDI which is extending RBI. And then in Canada Bank, I am implementing FDI. Now what Canada Bank is saying, please implement unimplemented methods. So I am getting methods from RBI as well as from FDI. Getting it right?
Yes.
Yes.
And when you get unimplemented methods, right, and eventually you will have to implement, but if you forgot to implement any of the method here, then that class will not be a complete class, that will become an abstract class. Because
Nitin, can you repeat that statement again?
which one?
If we implement the class, then
Yeah.
the
So
last statement.
I'll start from scratch. So I have one interface here called RBI, which is having three methods: loan, insurance, fund. This is another interface which is extending RBI. Okay, so interface extends another interface. Okay, and in that I am having some different three methods, and eventually I am implementing FDI. This is a class which can implement interface. So all the methods from RBI as well as FDI, right, will be here. So I will have to implement all by default. Then only this class will become the complete class. If you forget to implement any of the method here, right, then this class will become abstract class because I am having concrete as well as incomplete methods here.
Okay, understood.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you cannot create object of interface as well as you cannot declare constructor of interface. Okay, so this is again a point to note. You cannot instantiate an interface and you cannot declare a constructor of interface. Okay, so we learned about how the interface is connected with another interface, how the classes are connected to interface, how the interfaces are connected to classes. Okay, then we will quickly cover the difference between these two. So guys, what is the difference? Now tell me. There are so many differences in there. And this is again a very favorite questions of interviewer. What is the difference between interface and abstract class? Naresh,
Uh,
tell me the easy one, then
abstract
I will tell you some tough one.
Yeah, abstract class can have a concrete method, interface cannot have.
Yeah, correct. That is one. Yeah. So abstract class is abstract class here and here interface. Now, sorry. So abstract class is concrete as well as plus
Abstract.
incomplete, right? Interface is only incomplete, right? Disha?
In interfaces, we can implement multiple inheritance. In
Good, good.
abstract, we don't.
Yeah. So multiple inheritance is supported with interfaces only.
Interfaces, yeah.
Yeah, correct. Sitara, your turn.
So in abstract, we have to explicitly mention methods as abstract, and in interfaces, it is by default called as abstract methods.
Good, good. Not supported. Multiple inheritance not supported. Then it can support multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance supported. Okay. Abstract should be declared with abstract keyword, and interfaces you then don't have to use abstract. Then next,
For abstract, we can create constructor. For interface, we cannot.
good, good. Constructor can be created. No constructor possible. Now, one very frequently asked question is, when should you use abstract classes? When should you use interfaces?
No idea.
Okay, so abstract classes are preferred when you have some, about the partial implementation about the requirements. Let's say you have some requirements which are not yet known, and as in you don't have the implementation of those requirements, and there are some which are having the implementation available. So for those requirements, you can write your methods, and for whatever the requirements you don't know anything, you can just write the abstract methods. So if you know the partial requirement, then you should go for abstract class. And if you don't know anything about the implementation of requirement, then you should go for interfaces. Is it making sense? So when you know about the implementation of partial requirement, then you should go for abstract classes. And if you don't know anything about the implementation of requirement, then you should go for interfaces.
Okay, understood.
Okay. So as in partial implementation, then don't know anything about implementation. Okay, now next one is, in abstract classes, all the methods are by default, all the methods are public and abstract, as in we have covered that already, right? Complete and incomplete. And in interfaces, all the methods, as in interfaces, all the methods are public and abstract, and we don't have any such condition. We can have public methods, abstract, private, protected, any methods we can have here. Okay, in case of abstract classes, variables, right? We have talked about methods, but we can declare the variables also. So all variables should be public, static, and final. And in case of interfaces, we don't have any such condition, no such condition. Okay, I think I just told you about abstract classes. In interfaces, all the variables should be public, static, and final. But in case of abstract class, there is no such condition. In case of interfaces, variable should be initialized at the time of declaration only. Should be initialized at the time of declaration only, but no such condition here. So public, static, final plus initialization. Okay, so that is the another difference. And then